Hey, welcome to the second episode of The Process. I'm Livingston, and let's get right into it.
You know the process? Yeah, I'll show you. Okay.
So just a quick history with this image. The model is Aseye. I really enjoy working with her. So in this shot, I have a palm tree on camera right. That's where the light is also coming from. And I'm shining that through onto the model. So you can see at the leg area just around this side. That's where you can see some of the shadows falling. And then in the background, I have the palm tree in that shape. So in Lightroom, my white balance is 9600 with a tint of -5. No exposure, just highlights up a little bit, and then my shadows just to open up this side of her face because I was using one light from camera right. Now my light is gelled orange just to give the effect or the look that I want. If you scroll down here, there's not much of a change that has been done with the exception of this color shift. This is where my color grading is coming from. If I turn it off, you see how it was, and back. So I'm just trying to boost in the yellows. So let's move into Photoshop and see what happened. In Photoshop, we start with our frequency separation. If I zoom into this side, this is what happened with the frequency separation. Then I did my dodge and burn just to bring up the shape of the face one more time. That's basically what dodge and burn is used for when you're doing the global dodge and burn. Then I bring in my color adjustment. So the color just boosts these colors as usual. If you remember from the last video, once again, I would desaturate, but not as much because in the previous video, I was trying to get just before the black and white. So here it's just -8. Then I have my levels, and my levels is 3 over here, and then 2, 3, 2. So again, I'm just hitting the point where the highlights kind of like begin. That's what I mean, because I don't want the details of the coat, the yellow coat over here to vanish. If I push it so much, that's what will happen to the side. So just a little bit, just at that point. I do not touch the middle. You see, that's just at 1. And then finally, I have the color. Now this is the color curve, and without it, this is what it looks like, and then this is with it. So it brings in back that warmth. That is why we desaturate it. And I'm trying to maintain that warm feel for this picture. So on top of my color adjustment, I have 2 gradient maps, and this is for further color grading. But the purpose of this one is mainly to tone down the yellows. Of course, I could desaturate, but that affects the entire image. So I have the first one, and this is the color range. It ranges from this color all the way up to green. So that means that my highlights are going to be a little bit green. I am not trying to get any pure white in this particular image. That was the focus. And the second color grade is also from a brown to almost teal sort of feel. But pay attention to the fact that the color grade is all in the color blend mode. So the first one is 12% and the second one is 51%. Blend them together, and that's the before and the after, before and the after. So let's jump back into Lightroom and see what happened next. So back in Lightroom, I played around with all these tints and temperatures and changes. I was just trying to fine tune everything that I wanted. So if I jump all the way to this point curve, that's the blue channel. This is what we end up with. So in the shadows, I'm turning the shadows into a blue curve. So if I scroll down here and I go to my blue channel, you can see that I've lifted up the blue curve, and that is what gives the shadows the blue tint or the blue tone while still maintaining the yellow, because blue and yellow are on the opposite side, so they work very well. Then I played around with the crop. I'm trying to crop because I know all the medias that I'm going to post in. I really do not mind the floor going away because there's not much information there. So after I was satisfied with the crop, then I applied post-crop vignetting. So there you have it. That's the final image. I hope that you learned something from it. One key note that I want you to pay attention to is that the before and the after didn't have much of a difference. That's because I lit the image exactly how I wanted the final image to be like. And for that reason, when I got onto the bench, there wasn't much of a change that I had to do to the overall picture. With that said, I'll see you in the next one.